you worked in a lot of high impact roles. So particularly in the startup world, which also means that the stress levels are normally high. At least as far as my understanding goes, because you gotta keep on hustling. Keep the revenue up. If it is sales, keep the numbers high and things like this. So I think it's a lot more intensive than the regular corporate world, or than the regular job. So how are you, able to handle all the stress, particularly and going through the bubbles? I think it impacts our mental health in a great way. So, but you're still in the industry and still going for it. So, what keeps you going, and how did you handle all of it?
Wow, that's a big question. So, I mean, you're definitely right. There's a lot of stress involved in these jobs, and I think, the thing that really kept me going in startups was I like that excitement, is what I realized. I kind of stumbled into startups. That first job that I mentioned, I wasn't necessarily looking for a startup job. It just sounded like a fun job. And when I realized, because I had spent a summer before while I was still in college working at a very big company and I hated it, and then I had this startup experience, which was super exciting. And I really worked hard. It was a lot of hours, but I just got energy from it, right? So I think the
Mm.
excitement, the commitment, the fun stuff we were doing, the people I was working with, those are the things that really energize me. Those are the things that keep me going. I did have to learn pretty early in my career about managing stress. At that same company that I mentioned, we pivoted to go into the Macintosh environment,
Okay.
and we're making products for the original Macintosh computers in the mid 80s, the very early days of the Macintosh. And the company ended up having a gigantic quality problem, like really,
Mm.
really bad quality problem. Like we were selling hard drives for the Macintosh, and a customer took a hammer to their hard drive and sent us a box full of demolished parts to show us how mad they were at us. This was
Wow.
not a fun, I mean, if you want
Yeah.
stress, that was a lot of stress. Because I had customer relationships internationally. Then I was doing international sales, and we had to support our international partners, fix our problems,
Mm.
support our partners, and get our business back on track. And it was a huge amount of stress. And I had kind of a little mini nervous breakdown, in fact, during this time, and took a trip out to California, rented a car, and drove it up the coastline to Oregon, smoking cigarettes, which I had never smoked in my life. So it was very it was a weird thing. But I kind of realized when I came back, it's like I can't let the job get to me, and that was the first of maybe multiple things over the course of my career that helped me make some kind of a wall between
Mm.
the work part and the personal part. And although I'm really passionate about my jobs and work hard and, willing to work extra hours or whatever, there's a line that I won't cross in terms of letting it intrude on my personal life. And I'm glad that I learned to draw that line. And I don't think I would be able to keep doing everything I've done if I hadn't been able to draw that line early in my career. It's like a survival mechanism, basically. But it's not always easy to do. And I think, particularly in a startup where there's, literally sometimes kind of life and death of the company on the line, we're running out of money. How do we make payroll next week? These are real challenges. And,
Yeah.
but I was able to compartmentalize that stress somewhat, so that I could kind of survive it. And I mean, but like, like I said earlier, I kind of thrive on that excitement, energy. Maybe I mean, risk to a certain extent, but to me, it's more opportunity. It's really
Yeah.
seeing where we're going. And most of the times when I've left jobs, it's because I didn't really believe anymore that we were going to get to
Mm.
where we were trying to get to.